Hello everyone, good morning. Am I audible? Is the video clear? Please give a thumbs up to confirm. Yeah, okay. So we have few participants have already joined and more are yet to join. So let's wait for 2 minutes for them to join and then we'll start the session. Good morning, friends. So I'm thrilled to have you all here for this powerful session, Finance on Autopilot, Supercharge Your Business with ZohoBooks. So let's start with a small introduction. For those who don't know me, I am CA Anant Vora, founder and CEO at DreamFirm and a Zoho finance consultant. I have a cumulative 10 plus years of experience as a practicing chartered accountant, co-founder and CFO at a fitness tech startup, and a finance manager at Reliance Jio. Now at DreamFirm, I am investing my years of knowledge and experience in streamlining finance operations, set up financial systems and automation, and providing virtual CFO services for startups and SMEs. So before we start the session, let us understand our audience also. So let me start a quick poll. You will see a quick poll on your screen. Okay. There are two questions. First of all, what is the nature of business that you are in, and what is the stage of the business you are? We'll take just 5 seconds. Please put your answers on the poll. Okay, great. So we have very huge audience in services segment, and most of them are at a growth and scaling stage. That's great. Now let's deep dive into the today's session. Okay. To start the session, let me ask you a quick question. Are you spending too much time in handling your financial tasks instead of focusing on growing your business? Yes, then you are not alone. A study shows that business owners spend 30% of their time on financial administration. Imagine what you could have achieved if you had had that time back. So that's where ZohoBooks comes in. It's not just an accounting software, it's a financial powerhouse that can automate your processes, give you real time financial insights, and ensure you stay 100% compliant with ease. So, what's in the store for you today? What will you learn in today's session? Let's start one by one pointers. Okay. How to automate bookkeeping, invoicing, and cash flow tracking. A very important point for a business owner. How to simplify tax compliance without stress. Then you will understand real world case studies of businesses scaling with ZohoBooks and how DreamFirm has helped them to use ZohoBooks and shift from the traditional software. View live video demo and expert insights on finance automation, and question answers live to address your finance concerns. Are you ready? Stay engaged. Ask questions. Use the Q&A chat box to ask your questions, and we will take your questions in the end. And I will give you answers for each and every questions. And take notes wherever necessary. Okay. So, what are the biggest challenges that a startup faces to manage their financial operations? First and foremost is the cash flow chaos. Founders don't understand where the money is coming in, from where the money is going out, and they're not able to track what is the balance, what is the payables for the next month, which is a big chaos. Second is invoicing nightmares, creating manual invoicing, sending it to the customers, and then following up whether they have received the invoices, then again following up whether they have when the payment will be released. This is a nightmare. And tax compliance is confusion. GST and TDS filing deadlines is a big confusion for founders. And financial blind spot. So most of the founders outsource their finance to a consultant without actual oversight. So this creates financial blind spots, and startup founders are actually taking decisions without having an oversight on their books of accounts. A study shows that 82% of small businesses fail due to poor cash flow management. Let's do a quick poll. So in this poll, we have three questions. What's the biggest financial challenge for you right now? How do you currently manage your accounting? And how much time do you spend on financial management per week? Please submit your poll questions. Okay. Okay, we have received the answers. Let's end the poll. We can see most of the startup founders and business owners are struggling to manage their cash flow. Okay, people are using traditional software like Tally. Okay, and there are for certain ZohoBooks experienced users also. Great. And how much time you're spending on your financial management per week? Approximately less than 2 hours. That's great. A few people are spending more than 5 hours. Okay, fine. So now to solve these finance challenges, okay, before understanding how to solve the financial challenges, let's understand what is the cost of manual financial management. Most startups manage their finances in one of these three ways. Okay, spreadsheets and manual work, creating Excels and creating different workings as a founder, then using traditional accounting softwares like Tally, Busy, Merg, and outsourcing without oversight. We already discussed on this. Let's understand whether there is a need for automation or not. Just imagine there is a system that can automatically track every rupee that goes in and out of your business. Send invoices to your customers, follow up on payments, and reconcile your bank statements automatically. Keeps you GST and TDS compliant without breaking a sweat, and generates real-time reports so that you can make smarter business decisions. Feeling like a dream, right? All this can be done with Zoho Finance platform. Let's understand what is Zoho Finance platforms. So there are multiple products under Zoho Finance platform. First is invoice for creating invoices. Second is books to maintain your books of accounts. Third is practice, which is a practice management software for professionals. Inventory is for managing your inventory and integrating with marketplaces. Zoho Commerce is a e-commerce management tool like Shopify. Zoho Expense is for travel and expense reimbursements. Zoho Payroll is to manage your salary disbursements and employee payrolls. And Zoho Billing is a subscription management software. Let's understand this product with a quick video. So friends, did you like the video? Give a thumbs up if you like the video. That's great. Okay, so in the video you saw there are multiple products of Zoho Finance, but today we are going to speak more majorly on ZohoBooks, which is a bookkeeping and an accounting software. Okay, so ZohoBooks, a smart finance solution. ZohoBooks is a cloud-based accounting software that simplifies and automates your financial management. It's designed for businesses that want to save time, stay compliant, and make smarter financial decisions. Let's do a quick poll. So which feature would be the most useful for your business? What frustrates you the most about your current accounting system? And do you currently use any finance automation tools? Okay, let's see the results. Okay, people are still replying to the poll. Okay, so most people I think are interested in automation of bookkeeping because they are spending too much time in manual work right now. And yes, few people are already using some automations, but most of them are interested in automation. So that is why they have joined the session. That's great. Okay, let's move further. So now, as you all may be excited to see the ZohoBooks live demo. Okay, so let me start a live demo of ZohoBooks. Guys, can you see my screen? Can you see the Zoho homepage? Just give a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Okay, that's great. Okay. So Zoho, as you know, it's a cloud-based software. So there's a separate user ID password to log into the system. Right now, I've already logged in, and right now I'm the home page of the ZohoBooks software. Okay, let me first take you to the home page, that is the dashboard. Okay, here you can see total receivables. So what are the total receivables from your customer, and age wise, how many receivables are pending? So you can see the aging analysis. Same for the payable side. So the amount that you need to pay to your vendors and age wise. Okay, you can see your cash flow chart and what is the monthly cash balance. This includes your bank balance, cash balance, and any other cash and bank balance that you have. You can see on the monthly basis. This is a chart. Then you can see a bar chart on income and expense on a monthly basis to compare what was your monthly income and expense. You can understand the profitability of your business from your dashboard itself, and a pie chart on your expenses. So you can see what is the percentage of expense category wise that you are spending on your business. Next is, if you have created few projects in the ZohoBooks, then you can create a watch list to understand the top projects and what is the status of the projects, whether you have invoiced to the customer, is there a balance payable. On the right hand side, you can see your bank and credit cards, all the banks that you have added, what is the current bank balance. If there is a credit card, what is the payable for the credit card. And at the account watch list, you can create the watch list of favorite ledger accounts that you want to quickly go through from the dashboard itself. That is the home screen for you. Now let's see how to set up a ZohoBooks account. Okay, so first we'll go to the settings. In the settings, we have an organization. Okay, in the organization, here you can create your organization profile. You can add your logo. You can put the details of your organization: name, address, location, website URL. You can select the year, financial year, start date and end date, whether you are following accrual or cash basis of accounting, time zone, company ID. This is a self-explanatory form. This is for a company profile. Second, you can add a branding to your ZohoBooks. Okay, here you can select the theme that you want to add, whether you want to have a custom domain. So this ZohoBooks account will be linked to your own email website, and your users will log in from your own website. So that is also possible with ZohoBooks. If you have multiple locations, branches, you can enable the locations. That if you are using multiple currencies, if you have exports or imports, automatically ZohoBooks can fetch exchange rates on a real-time basis. Then you can set up your tax compliances. So for the tax compliances, we will have GST. So you can enable whether you are a GST registered entity. If you are a GST registered entity, then you can select what is the default tax GST rate, which is applicable on all your invoices. You can also set up your GST details in ZohoBooks, so that ZohoBooks will help you file your GST returns directly from the software. So we have an online filing settings in ZohoBooks, wherein you can put your GST username, reporting period, and from the month on which you want to start using GST from ZohoBooks. This will help you to file your GST returns in 3 clicks from ZohoBooks. Okay, for direct taxes, you have TDS settings. If you are having an e-way bill, so you can enable an e-way bill. So all the invoices that you create will automatically generate an e-way bill and push it to the portal. If you are having a turnover of more than 5 crores, you can also activate e-invoicing. So all the invoices that you generate will be an e-invoice. And if you are an MSME registered business, then please, you can select an MSME registered yes and put your registration details. Apart from that, in the settings, you have users. You can add multiple users to your ZohoBooks organization, set up roles for the users, whether a user can create an entry, edit an entry, or delete an entry, and module wise you can set permissions for users. Then there are certain general settings on what modules do you want to keep in ZohoBooks. So you are actually designing your own software here. If you want a bill of supply activated, quote, sales order, all the modules that are relevant for your business, you can activate them. And though the modules which are not relevant for your business, you can just deactivate them so that they are not visible to you, and it will not create any confusion for you. There are other few settings like when customers and vendors, customer numbers, whether you want to enable duplicate name for customers and vendors, whether you want to activate projects in Zoho, whether you want to create timesheets for the projects, whether you want to enable customer portals. Your customer portal is a very important part of Zoho, which I will show you when we move to the customer portal. So these are the basic settings. It's a self-explanatory. I hope now you have understood what settings are required. If you have any questions regarding it, put it on the Q&A section and I will take it up in the end. Okay. Then now once your ZohoBooks setup is completed, what is the first thing that you will do? You will start adding your customers. Okay, so let me create one customer for you. Now while creating a customer, we have a very good feature, that is fetch customer from GST. Here you just need to put the GST details of your organization, and a GST will be auto fetched. Okay, so okay, let me put a GST number. Is it a GST number? Okay. I put a wrong GST number, that is why it was showing an error. So when you put a right GST number, you can see the details have been auto fetched. You can see the company name, address will be auto populated, and you can just click on fetch to automatically your customer will be created with all the details of company, address, GST number, PAN number. Address is also auto populated. What you can do is next is just update the email ID and phone number of the contact person, put the name, so that auto invoicing can be managed through ZohoBooks. Okay, now this customer has been created. Okay, next step that you will do is create a code for the customer. Okay, so what we can do is we can create a new code. What is a code? Basically you want to send a proposal to your customer, okay, or like a pro forma invoice, okay, which is a draft document. This is not a final document. So you can create a quick code. The code number can be auto generated, auto populated. You can create a setting for that. If you have any reference number for a document which a client has provided, you can put a reference number like a PO order, PO number or something like that. Code date is auto populated. If you want to create a validity for this code, you can select a validity that this code is only applicable for certain period. Okay, after that this code will not be applicable. You can select a salesperson. If you have salesperson in your business and you want to manage how much business a salesperson is giving you, you can manage a salesperson here. If there is any project that has to be created for this code, then you can create a project. This I will take you again in the project module. Okay, then you can just select an item, what type of item you are selling to the customer. These items can be either goods or services. If you don't have a new item created, you can quickly create a new item from a new item module. You can select whether it is goods or service, write the name of the item. If it is units, you can select the units, numbers, pieces. Put a SAC code for services, put a HSN code for goods. Select the tax preference, whether it is taxable or not taxable. What is the sale price? This is the standard sale price of any goods that I am putting, and for this particular item. And if there is a purchase and sale, if you are into trading business, just put a purchase price. So this will help you to quickly create an invoice. So once I'm creating an invoice, automatically a standard sale price will be applied, and then if I want to change the rate, I can do that. Okay, after putting that, I can put a default tax rate and I can create a new item like this. Okay, so let me take one item over here. So you can see I've already created a standard rate for here. If I want to change the rate, I can quickly put a change, or if I want to give a discount on this one, so I can create a 10% discount. I can select the GST rate that is applicable to this item, and you can see a quote is created with details, GST details. Automatically place of supply has been calculated from the address of the customer, GST is applied, and an invoice is created, a quote is created. Once you create the code, you can immediately send the code to the contact person that you have added. Immediately an email will be sent to them, and they will get this type of an email body wherein they can view the code, see the PDF document, and also click on the code and give an approval to the code. So you will actually get an approval from your customer. Once the code is sent, you can see the status of each and every code that has been created. So right now this code I have not saved, that is why it is in the draft stage. This code I've created and sent. This code is declined, so that means I have sent a code to a customer. Customer clicked on the code, checked the code and declined it. That means he's not willing to accept this code. And if it is showing as accepted, that means the customer selected and accepted the code. If the quote is showing as invoice, that means now the customer had accepted the quote, you had provided the services, and you have also raised an invoice against the quote. So you can check the complete order to cash journey. So getting an order, that is giving a quote to the customer, accepting that quote, providing the services, then invoicing, and then the status of the invoice, whether it is paid or not, entire journey can be mapped. Okay. So that is about quote. Now, say for example, a quote has been created and the customer has accepted the quote, and I want to now create. I have provided the service and I want to create an invoice. So let me just click on the quote and convert to invoice. In one click, an invoice will be created with the current automated invoice number. All details of the quote are already there. If you have a sales order mapped, you can just click on the sales order, and the sales order will also be mapped to that quote. And or the GST details are there, and just click on save and send, and the invoice will be sent to the customer. Okay, now you can see the invoice has been sent. In the comments history, you can see invoice was created by the user. Okay, and invoice has been sent to the customer also. Okay, so once that is done, the invoice will be under the send stage. So in the invoice module, you can see what is the status of each and every invoice, what was the total amount, what is the balance due for invoice, and what is the status of the invoice, whether it is paid, unpaid, or overdue, with the number of days it is overdue. Okay, now say for example, I am selecting this invoice and I want to set up a reminder. What I can do is I can set up an automated reminder, or I can send a manual email to my clients. Okay, so I can just click here and send a manual email, or I can click on settings. In the reminder section, I can create an automated reminders. Okay, so now this is my reminder number 1, which is remind after 0 day of due date. Reminder number 2 can be after 10 days of due date. Reminder number 3 can be of 30 days of due date. So the system will automatically send a reminder to the customer that your invoice is due, kindly release payment for the, and the body of the email can also be created and redesigned. Okay, so you can create the body of the invoice. Now the best part is this invoice reminders can go on email as well as WhatsApp. So in the Zoho, you can connect your WhatsApp. So there is a WhatsApp integration in ZohoBooks. You can connect your WhatsApp. It should be a Meta verified account for your business. You can connect that, and automatically all the invoices, payment reminders, quote, sales order will be pushed to your customer through WhatsApp. And the customer can respond to that WhatsApp, and you will get a notification of if there is any comment by our customer on the particular invoice. So that's about the invoice. Apart from that, there are delivery challenge, sales order, payment, credit notes that can be raised from the invoice. If you have any queries regarding other modules in the sales part, then you can put it in the Q&A. Okay. Next part is the purchase. So let's understand the procure and pay journey. Okay, so in the vendor, again you can create a same vendor process with GST number. Automatically a vendor will be created just like the customer. Everything is same. Now in the vendor, if you have a new bill, okay, you can just click on new bill. Okay, and you can add your purchase. Select the vendor, add the bill number provided by the vendor, select the item provided by the vendor, select the account in which you want to add this expense, rate, quantity, and you can save the vendor. Okay, if you have to deduct TDS on the particular invoice of the vendor, you can just select the TDS where everything has been pre-default, by default it is mapped in ZohoBooks. Now there may be certain instances wherein an expense has to be booked from which you have received an expense from a vendor, and then you want to reimburse it from a customer. So while booking an expense over here, you can select a customer, and this customer can be marked as billable. So what will happen? ZohoBooks will, after you save this expense, ZohoBooks will show you all the expenses that are under an unbilled stage. So this will remind you that this invoice was paid on behalf of a customer and you have to recover it from a customer. So what you can do is just convert to invoice, and you can bill this to a customer. So a lot of professional firms or agencies incur expenses on behalf of customers, and they are not able to track it, how much they have spent, and then they have to collect it from the customers, and they are not able to track that. So this will help you wherever you are adding an expense or a bill. You can just select the customer and mark it as billable, and you can directly convert it to an invoice to the customer, and this will show you that the invoice has been created, and then you can automatically payment follow-ups and everything can be mapped. So that's about the purchase part. Now let's move on to the banking part. If you have any questions, just put it on the Q&A. I will take it. Okay. If my speed is little fast, I will. If I have time, I will go in detail for every model. So now the banking part is one of the best, I think, in ZohoBooks. So it's called the connected banking. So what you can do is you can add your bank account having an internet banking access to ZohoBooks. It will automatically fetch all the feeds of the bank transactions and real-time bank balance in ZohoBooks. So this is connected with Yodlee. It's a service provider. It's a quite safe and secure platform. This will help you to enable your banking module in banking statement inside your banking module in ZohoBooks. Okay. With that, what you can do is you can see what is the live transactions happening in your bank account. So you don't have to even log into your internet banking to check how many transactions have occurred and then manually put a data entry in ZohoBooks. Your ZohoBooks will fetch the bank transactions from your bank account and show it in ZohoBooks, and you just need to click and categorize the transaction. Also, you can see the live balance of your account through ZohoBooks, and any transactions which you have not categorized or matched in ZohoBooks will be directly showing here, and you can just click on that and add a transaction. So that's a very important feature in ZohoBooks, that the bank is connected, so you don't have to do actual BRS. It is automated. Okay, and you know each and every money in and money out of your business live on a real-time basis. Next very important module is GST filing module. Okay, so in the GST filing module, you can see what is the status of your GST 3B, what is the status of GSTR 1, whether you have fetched all the transactions from GSTR 2 and it is matching with your books of accounts. So all this can be done over here. Now let's go to GSTR 1. Okay, now in GSTR 1, you can see a complete report is created, what transactions are populated, whether it is a B2B, B2C, B2C large, export invoices, everything will be shown in the, and you can just push it to the GST side, put an OTP of the GST authorized person, and your return will be filed. In 3 clicks, you can file your GSTR1 return, provided the data is complete and accurate. Once the GSTR1 return is filed, automatically the GSTR1 filing acknowledgement will be pushed to Zoho, and you can see the status as filed in GSTR1. So you will not miss any compliance deadlines here. If you are filing GSTR 3B, before that you need to check your GST 2B RICO. So for that, what you can do is you can take a fetch. You can fetch your GST 2B, okay, from your GST portal. So all the transactions that have been pushed by your vendors in their GSTR 1 will be available in GSTR 2B, and ZohoBooks will automatically reconcile those transactions with your accounts and show you the difference of how many transactions have been matched, how many are unmatched. So how many transactions are in ZohoBooks but not in 2B, and how many are in 2B but not in ZohoBooks. That reconciliation ZohoBooks will do it for you. And if there is any transaction in 2B which is not accounted in ZohoBooks, you can just click on it and add to your ZohoBooks. So in 2 clicks, you can add that invoice or a purchase bill in ZohoBooks and then match your 2B. Once your 2B is matched, you can click on the GST 3B summary. You can check what is the outward supply, what is the inward input credit. If there is any ineligible credit, you can just click here and mark the credit as ineligible, put the reason for that, and your GST 3B summary will be ready. And you can then make the GST payment here from the ZohoBooks. You can click here. If your internet banking is connected, it will take you to the internet banking. You can make the payment there. Challan details will be automatically saved in ZohoBooks, and then you can proceed for filing. So that's about GST. So in few clicks, you can file your GST through ZohoBooks. Now the next, which is the most important part, is the reports. Okay, so as you saw in the challenge, startup finance challenge, I mentioned that the founders and entrepreneurs take decisions without having an actual insight of their business. Now with ZohoBooks, you will have a complete control on what is your financial position of your business, what are the overdues, where I'm spending, why I'm not able to collect my money, which customer is not giving me money on time. All reports are there in ZohoBooks. Let's start with a P&L account. Okay, so you have a complete P&L account. Okay, there are three types of P&L formats. One is a normal P&L vertical format. Then there is a Schedule 3, which is as per Companies Act, and then there is a normal horizontal P&L account. Same for balance sheet. Then we have a cash flow statement created. So all the necessary document reports that are required for audit purpose by your chartered accountant will be available in ZohoBooks on click of a button. Your CA or an auditor, you can give them a user access, a viewing access, and they can check all the reports. Also, an audit trail function is inbuilt in ZohoBooks. So each and every transaction that has been edited, deleted, or modified can be tracked through the audit trail. Then there are a lot of other reports which are on sales, like how much sales I am generating to one particular customer, which item is selling more, which salesperson is giving me more sales. If there are receivables, what is the aging summary? How many receivables are due as per the number of days? Same for purchase, payments received. So there are a lot of reports. It's a self-explanatory, and the best part is you can create your own. You can create your own custom reports in ZohoBooks that will help you to take better finance decisions. Okay, let me show you a quick custom report. So custom reports can be created in ZohoBooks. This is a report which you are creating as per your requirement. So if you say, for example, I'm taking a P&L account, okay, but I don't want certain accounts in P&L. Okay, so I can create my own filter that this account should not be there. Or if I want to only see a P&L of my project, I will select the project and I want to see only the P&L of my project. How many projects I have done. I don't want to see my organization level expenses. So this type of custom reports can be created. You can customize which columns you want. You can select which filters you want to apply. Okay, a report layout, how the report should look like, and then you can create a report preference and set an automatic scheduler. So that, say for example, I want to see every week what is my cash inflow, cash outflow. I can create a scheduler in ZohoBooks which will send an email to me on every Friday or every Monday that I can select, and it will tell me in the last week this was the total inflow, this was the total outflow. So these type of custom reports and schedulers can be created in ZohoBooks. Okay. Now let's move on to the very important topic in ZohoBooks, which everyone is actually interested, that is automation. Okay. So there are 2-3 points which I'm going to cover today. Apart from that, if you have any other questions, you can ask in the Q&A. Okay. The first automation point, which I already mentioned, that is the payment reminder. Okay. So you can set up the payment reminders. Your system will automatically send reminders to your customers on email and WhatsApp if integrated. Second is a recurring invoice. Now just imagine you are in a business wherein you are taking a monthly retainer from your client. Every month you need to generate an invoice. Okay. Now what you are doing is, if you are using a traditional software, you are actually manually creating an invoice every month. And if there is a delay, say for example, you have to create an invoice on 1st of every month, but first is a Saturday or a Sunday, so you have just missed it because you're not working on that date, and then you are creating an invoice on the 3rd day or a 4th day of the month. So you are creating an invoice late, and then because of that you are getting a payment also late. You can automate this entire process of invoicing with recurring invoice module. What is the recurring invoice module? Is basically you can select the customer, you can select the frequency of invoice that has to be created. So for example, I want to create an invoice every month. Okay, and how much time should I create an invoice? It should be till I actually mark it manually, till I manually stop it, or a certain period. Say for example, from 1st April to 31st March, I want to send invoice to my customer every month for next 12 months. Okay, if there is a salesperson, add a salesperson. Just this is like I am creating an invoice only once. All other 11 invoices in that period will be created automatically on the day that I have selected. So you can set up these recurring invoices and save this. Your customer will get an invoice on email and WhatsApp automatically, whether it is Saturday, Sunday, or any public holiday. And automatic payment reminders will also be attached to that invoice if the customer has not made the payment. So you are actually not spending any time in creating that recurring invoices. System is doing it. That is the second part of the automation. Now, third part of the automation. Now, say for example, I have sent an invoice, but I am not able to collect the payment from the customer. Now, customer is telling me to send the bank account details. I am sending the bank account details on WhatsApp to him. Then the customer will either give a check or or bank transfer, and then again I have to check in my bank statement whether the customer has paid or not. This can be completely automated if I integrate an online payment gateway to my ZohoBooks. So ZohoBooks is compatible with Razorpay, Paytm, Stripe, PayPal, and other payment gateways. If you integrate these payment gateways, so every invoice that you create will generate a payment link to the customer. So if I've created an invoice, the customer can click on the invoice. This is how the PDF document will look like, and he will get a button of make payment on the invoice itself. Once he clicks on make payment, he will be automatically redirected to Razorpay if I've granted Razorpay, or Paytm, whichever online payment gateway I'm using, and the customer can make the payment directly from there. So you are actually not sending the invoices manually and not even collecting the payments manually. So your invoice generation and payment both has been automated through payment gateway. There are certain payment gateway charges that depends upon your business. What is the frequency of payments that you need to collect on through payment gateway? You can take a decision on that. Also, Zoho has their own payment module, which is Zoho Payments. You can integrate that also with Zoho Books. That was the third part about collecting the payment. Now the next part, which is your banking tool. Okay, so in the banking tool, as I told you, you will be able to see all your transactions on a real-time basis. Now just imagine if every month I am making a TDS payment. Okay, so in the Zoho Books I am seeing CBDT. Or maybe there is a vendor, say for example rent. Okay, I know I have to pay my rent every month. Okay, so when I'm actually paying my rent through internet banking, okay, automatically a feed of withdrawals will be created here in Zoho Books. Okay, and the description will be mentioned as the name of the landlord, or if I mentioned in the remarks rent, a rent will be mentioned. Now this is a transaction which I know has to be done every month. Okay, so what I can do is, with Zoho Books automation, I can create transaction rules in Zoho Books. Now, say for example, rent is one of the transaction rules. I know this will be a withdrawal transaction, and if the description contains rent, okay, in any transaction, record it as an expense in my rent account. Okay, if there is a vendor, that means a landlord has been, if I've created a vendor, if my landlord is GST registered, I need to put the GST details also. So I can select the landlord, I can select whether the landlord is GST registered, his GST number, place of supply. Let's assume Maharashtra right now. Okay, and I save this. Okay, if the rate is 18%, okay, and I save this. Okay. So now what happened is a transaction rule has been created in Zoho Books. This will automatically pass the entry in Zoho Books for all the rent payments that I have done. So the bank will fetch the feed of a rent payment and automatically the entry will be passed. So manually, I don't have to pass any entry. Now just imagine so many expenses you must be doing on a monthly basis, like salary, rent, TDS payment, GST payment, or electricity payment. You can just create these transaction rules and you don't have to do any manual data entry. Your system will automatically pass those entries. Okay, so that was the next part in automation. Okay, now that the next part in automation is project tracking. Okay, so what you can do is, say for example, I am in a business of IT IT company. I'm an IT company and I manage projects for my clients. Okay, so what I can do is, if I have an payment term with my client that on a particular milestone, okay, you need to pay me X amount. Say for example, before starting of the project, you give me an advance of 50%. Then once my milestone number 1 is completed, I will raise an invoice of 25%. And once my project is entirely completed, I will raise the invoice of the balance 25%. This is how I will structure my payment terms of 100%. So what you can do is you can just define your milestones under a project. Okay, and select the frequency at which the invoice has to be created. Now you can select here the milestone number 1, milestone number 2, and milestone number 3. So if there is a milestone number 1 which is an advance, is it billable? Yes. How much should be billable? Milestone number 2 and milestone number 3. And when you update the milestone in ZohoBooks, whether this milestone is correct completed, like if you update the task status, automatically an invoice will be created from the system and sent to the customer. Okay, so this is different from a recurring invoice. In a recurring invoice, you know every month the invoice has to be gone. But in project invoicing, you know at certain milestone the invoice has to be sent to the customer. So once you update that milestone status, automatically an invoice will be raised. Now the best part is there may be certain cases wherein you have to bill the customer based on the number of hours you have spent for that project. Say for example, I have given a commitment to my customer that I will build your software. Provided it is within 50 hours. But if it is more than 50 hours, then I will also give an additional invoice of the additional hours that I've spent. Now, say for example, I've spent 60 hours on that project. So for 50 hours, I already have a certain commitment, but for the additional 10 hours, I need to raise an invoice. So the time sheets can also be managed in ZohoBooks, which will help you to calculate how much time you have invested on a project. And if there is an additional time which is billable to the customer, then the system will show you that this is an unbilled log time which you can click and convert to an invoice. So that is another automation which through timesheets you can manage the entire calculation of what are the billable hours to the customer. This is very much relevant for law firms, professional firms. So that's it about the live demo on ZohoBooks. If you have any queries regarding ZohoBooks, then please put it on Q&A and I will take it up in the end. Now let's move back to our PPT. Did you like the live demo? Just give a thumbs up if you have liked the live demo. Okay, great. So we were here. So we have completed the live demo of ZohoBooks. So let me just give a quick summary of key features that we saw. So you get insightful reports from ZohoBooks. Invoicing is a very easy process. GST filing, e-way bill can be automated. Through few clicks, you can file your GST returns. Get paid faster through online payments. There is a customer portal. So customer portal is, I just missed this point during the live demo. Customer portal is basically a portal which a link is shared to the customer through which they can log into the portal. When they log into the portal, they can see what are the quotes, what are the invoices that are sent to them on the portal, and they can also see their ledger statement. So this is a very big problem for all the business owners. A lot of customers ask for ledgers at the year end, which is right now a year end. So a lot of people will start asking you, please send me the ledger statement of the entire year. Now through customer portal, your customers can see the ledger live through their portal with their sign-in access which you have given them. You don't have to manually send the ledgers to your customer. So that is a very interesting part. Also, through the customer portal, customer can see their invoice and make payment directly from the portal. That is an additional part. Accounting on the go. So ZohoBooks is compatible with any device, like be it laptop, computer, smartphone, even a smartwatch can be integrated. ZohoBooks can be accessed from smartwatch also. So it's an accounting on the go. You can manage your inventory. What is the stock? You get all the stock reports. What is the stock in, stock out? You can set up reorder levels. Right now, I'm not focusing on inventory because my presentation is on ZohoBooks. But through inventory, a lot of things can be managed. ZohoBooks helps you to go towards the zero data entry system. This will help you reduce your cost for your accountants. Time will be saved as an entrepreneur, which you can put in managing your business, growing your business. Entire your procure to pay journey will be streamlined through ZohoBooks. So these are the key features of ZohoBooks. Now let's do a quick poll to understand which feature do you like the most. Okay, let's start a poll. So which part of ZohoBooks would you like to see in detail? Okay, so after this session, if you want to see some some module in detail, we can take it up after the session. Would you be interested in a free consulting session to set up ZohoBooks? Okay, so what I can offer you is a free consulting session, so you can understand for your business whether ZohoBooks is feasible, is beneficial for you, and how implementation can be done from our team. And after seeing this demo, how likely are you to try ZohoBooks? Okay. Okay, let's see the answers for your poll. Okay. Workflow automation is something that people want to see in detail. Okay. Many people are interested in a free consulting session. That's great. And a lot of people are going to saying they are signing up today. Okay. And few people want to explore more. So all those that want to explore more, no, you can connect with me after the session. We can have a one-to-one free consultation. I will explain you how ZohoBooks is applicable and beneficial for your business. What business processes can be automated through ZohoBooks. Okay. Let's move ahead. Now let's see few case studies of real life businesses which DreamFirm has implemented ZohoBooks for this client. Okay. So case study number one. So it's a fast growing SaaS startup. What is a SaaS startup? It's a software as a subscription. I will give you an example. What is a software as a subscription? Like you must be using Canva, which is a designing tool, or like Zoho itself is a SaaS company which provides a software as a subscription. You have to make a payment on a periodic basis, either monthly or annually. So these type of startups can be easily scaled through ZohoBooks and the tools that is. So let me give you what a SaaS startup that came to us, what problems they were facing. So they were facing a problem of delayed invoices. As I told you, a SaaS company has to bill the customer on a monthly basis. Now, actually, they were manually creating invoices through a traditional software, which was leading to delays in invoice. And because the invoice is delayed, obviously the cash flow will also be delayed because the customer will make the payment late. So they were facing cash flow crunches. Second most important thing for a SaaS company is to manage what is the number of subscriptions they have sold to a customer. What is the status of the subscription? Status of subscription means whether the subscription is active, expired, due for renewal, whether the subscription is renewed, or the customer has left. That means they also need to understand the retention rate of how many people who have subscribed for a subscription are continuing and renewing the subscription at the next period, and how many of them have churn. Churn matlab they have left, they are not subscribing to the subscription for the next period. These were the problems that they were facing, not able to track and differentiate between sales, collection, and revenue. This is a very big problem for SaaS companies. Okay, say for example, I am providing a subscription for 30,000 rupees per annum. Okay, so this 30,000 subscription is my sales. Okay, this is not my revenue. Out of this 30,000, say for example, my customer has paid only 20,000 rupees. So my collection is 20,000 rupees. So 10,000 is still balance, which I may collect in 7 days, 10 days, 15 days on any payment terms that I have decided with my customer. But what is my actual revenue? My actual revenue is not 30,000. My actual revenue is the day on which the subscription was activated for the customer till the end of the year. That is the revenue proportionate that I need to book in my books of accounts. So a lot of the startups which are into SaaS platform, which are a SaaS business, miss this part. They don't create an accrual revenue. They consider all their sales as revenue, which is wrong. Because if the customer has taken a subscription of 1 year, I need to give the service for 1 year. So say for example, if the customer has subscribed for a subscription in 1st October, then in this year I can only book the revenue for 6 months, and the next 6 months will be in the next year. So this is a very big problem for SaaS companies, and they are not able to track this through any traditional software. Okay, plus because they were using any traditional software through a consultant, they were not having a visibility of what is their income, expenses, and they were paying a very high outsourcing fee to their accountant because they were managing on a traditional software. So how we solve this problem? So we automated the entire invoicing process through recurring invoices. And as I showed you, a subscription period can be selected and the invoice will be auto-generated. We also integrated the books with Zoho Billing. Zoho Billing is a separate product wherein you can manage your subscription status, how many have renewed, retained, retention ratio, everything can be calculated through subscription, Zoho Billing. And you can get a real-time reports on what is your accrued revenue, what is the proportionate accrued revenue for next year, month, which is already booked. Okay, so booked sales, collections, and accrued revenue can be managed through ZohoBooks integrated with Zoho Billing. And we created the custom dashboards for them to analyze their income and expenses through ZohoBooks. So that's the first case study. Also with connected banking, we manage real-time accounting of bank transactions through transaction tools. So we set up some transaction tools. Through that, we reduce the actual manual data entry for them, and ultimately the cost of accounting got reduced for the clients, the time was saved, and they were able to focus on scaling up their business. 30% savings in bookkeeping and compliance cost. Okay, so next is a case study for a large event management company. Okay, so these event management companies do events across India, also globally. These events are offline events also and virtual events also. What problems they were facing is delayed invoices. Now what happens is event management company has to invoice their customer in two ways. Either they take 100% advance from the customer, or they have to invoice the customer after the event is completed. Now this event management company have certain operations team who actually takes care of the event, okay, on the event day. Practically on the event day, once the event is completed, the invoice must be automatically raised, okay. But they were not able to raise the invoice immediately after the event completion date. So what happened is the founder himself was sitting at the end of the month and checking how many events have been completed in a particular month, and then raising the invoices at the end of the month for all the events conducted in the month. This was leading to delayed invoices, and because of that again, and they were working with large corporates, okay. So large corporates only make the payment once an invoice is received to them, and also as per the payment term there are 30 days credit, 45 days credit, 60 days credit from the date of invoice and not from the date of event. So because they were creating invoices delayed, they had a very huge significant overdue receivables. They were not able to track the event expenses and profitability. Now what happened is, because the event was conducted at a different location and operation executives used to handle the events, operation executives have to on the day of event also put a lot of expenses, like say for example traveling expense, food expense, some materials are required for the event, or a freelancer has to be hired, or some vendor has to be hired from the day of events, and the operation executive makes the payment on the day of event. But then later on he also is not putting any track and missing that expenses which he have incurred, okay. Leading to this, the founder was not able to analyze what is my actual event profitability, because any expense that the operation executive is going to make ultimately is going to reimburse from the organization itself, okay. But if that is delayed, okay, so founder, till he does not get all the expenses from the operation team, will not be able to understand what is the profit of an event. So that was a bigger challenge. Then spending too much time manually calculating salesperson commission. So they have a very huge sales team, okay, the business development team, and each business development team have different contracts of the amount of commission. So the founder himself was creating an Excel sheet of every event conducted by a business, every event logged by a business person, and then what is the commission that he needs to pay. That was a time consuming job for the founder. And organizational profitability was he was not able to track, because he was doing everything mostly on Excel. And accounting, GST compliance, everything was outsourced, and the accountant was doing it through traditional software like Tally. Okay, so this was a problem that they faced. What we did is we implemented multiple Zoho products to streamline the entire business operations. Okay, so we implemented Zoho CRM for all the business executives. We implemented ZohoBooks for accounting and bookkeeping purpose. We implemented Zoho Flow, which is a automation tool which helps to connect two different softwares, okay, or even if it is a non-Zoho software, that can be connected with ZohoBooks. And we implemented Zoho Expense, which is a expense reimbursement software, okay. So what happens is, through Zoho CRM and Zoho Flow, we created an entire pipeline, a blueprint of process through which once an event is completed, just the salesperson has to mark the event as completed, and automatically an invoice will be raised from the system and sent to the customer. So we managed to get the invoicing done at T+1. Once the event is completed on 29th March, 30th March, the invoice will go for that event. Salesperson using the CRM to manage the event inquiries and deal closure. So salesperson is also managing using Zoho CRM, through which they are locking the deals and putting that deals in Zoho CRM, which helps us to calculate the salesperson commission, because all the details are at one place. Operation executives were given Zoho Expense mobile app, through which they were able to, if any expense they are incurring, just click a photo and put it on the app, and against that project, and the expenses can be tracked immediately. And we started a mechanism of a monthly MIS for the founder, wherein we showed them how many projects were completed in a month, each project PNL, and what is the salesperson commission. So this helped save a lot of time for the founder. Actually, the founder was himself putting 50% of more time in this finance operation, and we were able to save that. I will share you some blueprint screenshots of the automation that we created. So this is how the flow was created. how the session inquiry happened, and at what stage what has to be done. So these are all. So on the left side you can see this is a Zoho CRM blueprint. On the right side you can see that's a Zoho flow. Now let's move on to the case study number 3. Okay, a fashion startup was selling through its own website and marketplaces like Nike, Ajio. Problems that they were facing is invoice was created on different platforms. So on the website there is a mechanism of creating a invoice. Marketplaces pay there. The marketplaces is creating the invoice. Okay, they're not able to track the order. So different sales channels have different orders. Okay, so एक जगह पे they were not able to understand कि what is the number of orders that they have received, what is the status of the order. Spending too much time in manually consolidating orders and revenue workings. Different platforms pay there are orders, so you have to create another Excel sheet to understand on which sales channel orders have been received, what is the status of the order, whether there is a return, what is the net revenue that we generated, what is the gross margin, and organization level profitability was unclear to the founder. And then everything was managed on Excel by the founder himself. Okay, and again accounting, GST compliances were managed in a traditional software. So most of the cases which you see, what is happening is the founder wants these details. Okay, so what they do is they start managing these details on Excel, and accounting is completely kept separate, compliance is completely kept separate, and it is outsourced to a accountant or a professional, and they are managing on a traditional software. So there is no one place at which the founder can view the reports. Founder has to then create sheets manually. That was the biggest challenge. So how we helped them? We implemented ZohoBooks along with Zoho Inventory. Zoho Inventory integrates with marketplaces also and with websites. So all the order status can be viewed at one place in through Zoho Inventory, and the accounting can be done through ZohoBooks. So these are integrated platforms. We again started with MIS custom reports, through which founder was able to check the status of orders in the month, what is the inventory status, stock in, stock out, what is the reorder that I need to do, what is the profitability, gross margin that I'm generating on each and every item SKU wise. Yeah, so inventory balance on real time. So this is how the Zoho inventory looks like. How many orders you have received, how many have been shipped, delivered, etc. Okay, so this was about the case studies. Okay, now let's do a quick poll. Okay, so any other business case study that you would like me to give you a brief on? And which of the first 3 case studies that you liked? Okay, so many people have liked the fashion startup case study. Okay, that's great. And people want to understand the case. Okay, we want to understand how ZohoBooks is important for digital agency. So okay, so let me give you a quick brief on that. So for digital agencies, okay, what is the most important thing? That they have a retainer. Now, digital agencies like social media marketing, digital marketing agencies, or maybe a website designing company. These are all agencies. Okay, so what they need to do, they have 2 types of revenue model. One is a retainer model. If I'm doing a social media marketing, every month I need to raise an invoice for the client, so we can set up through recurring invoices. If I'm in a website development, so that is like a project. So one client has given me a contract to develop a website, so that I will create under a project. I will create a code for that project and create a milestone, and then automate that through invoicing. If I am into social media marketing, that means I may be spending on Facebook ads, Google ads on behalf of clients. So with billable expense module, which is if I'm spending on behalf of my client, okay, so any expense of Facebook or Google ads or any other advertisement platform I am spending on my own, I will book it as an expense and mark as billable to the customer. Select the customer. If I am putting some margin, so let's say for example I am giving a contract to my customer, I will handle 1 lakh worth of ad spends for you, and I will charge 10% margin on that ad spends. So when I'm spending that 1 lakh rupees, I will select the customer and add a markup of 10% on that. So that again can be entirely automated. So you will come to know how much spends you are doing on behalf of the customer, and then you can raise the invoice for that. With transaction rules, because there are frequent payments, right, for employees, for rent, electricity, as I gave you example, transaction rules can handle all that. So for designing agencies, ZohoBooks can be a very good platform. You don't have to right now integrate with any other Zoho products. ZohoBooks itself will be enough for you as a designing agency to automate your recurring invoices, project-based invoicing, transaction rules, payment reminders, WhatsApp integration. Everything will be suitable for your business. Okay. So we are now at the end of the session. Okay. So thank you so much for all the participants for patiently listening to the session and being engaging with the sessions, giving your answers at the poll. If you have liked the session till now, please give a thumbs up. So I know that you have liked the session. Okay, that's great. Okay, so for all the attendees today, we have a special offer by DreamFirm. Okay, so first is a free one-on-one consultation. So for all the attendees that you have joined today, I am going to provide a free one-on-one consultation after the session. You can book my session through on my website, or you can send me an email or a WhatsApp. I will share my contact details at the end of the slides. And you can book a free one-on-one consultation. In this consultation, I will understand your current business, what is the tools that you are using, what are your current business processes, your entire order to cash journey, and your procure to pay journey. Okay, and based on your business, I will suggest you what can be done through ZohoBooks, how things can be implemented, what automation can be applied to your business, and how much time and cost you will save. That is a free one-on-one consultation for all my webinar attendees. Second is we are going to give a complimentary ZohoBooks migration and implementation support, which is normally a charge service. If you get it done from any Zoho partner, they will charge you for migration and implementation. If you do it from Zoho itself, then also they will also have a certain charge for that. So we at DreamFirm are providing a completely free migration and implementation support for any tool that you're using. Say for example, you are doing your accounting in Tally right now, or any other software. We will ensure all your data is completely migrated to ZohoBooks, your setup is proper, and we will give you a proper training on how to use ZohoBooks to you and your accounts team if you have. So this is a complimentary service for all attendees, and a special 10% discount on all Zoho Finance products if you subscribe before 30th of April. That is 30 days from today's webinar. If you subscribe for any Zoho Finance products, you get a flat 10% discount on any Zoho Finance products. Okay, this is a special offer by DreamFirm. Okay, so as now you know what is the offer, let's do a quick poll to understand whether you are interested for these offers. Which is the most interesting offer? Consulting, okay. Implementation support, that's great. So as I see, many people are interested in free one-on-one consulting. So as that means you are interested in ZohoBooks, but as you know that how this is going to be relevant for your business. So that I will cover in your one-on-one session. Okay, so that's it. Let's end. So we are ending our presentation and we are opening the platform for live Q&A. I will be taking all your questions. I will try to take all the questions. Okay, if I have missed anything, you can put it on the chat also, or my team can also respond to it. Okay. So let me start with the questions. Okay. Okay, so we have one question. Does this have any feature where I can see the MIS or my financial on real-time basis without being dependent on the accounts team to make it? Sometime when I need something from account, I have to wait for them to come back from leave. And okay, so basically the participant is saying that he's dependent on the accounts team, and as a founder, he always has to ask his accountant to give some report. Okay, so this is a very good problem case. What you can do is through ZohoBooks, you can one time create a master of custom reports in an MIS format. Like say for example, in a MIS, what all things you require? You require a financial position of your business. You require a cash flow statement, balance sheet, profit and loss, and few custom ratio analysis. So that will give you a brief of what is the status of your business right now. So what we can do is we can create a scheduler through custom reports, which will be in the form of an MIS, and this you will get on a timely basis. You can set whether you want on a weekly basis, 15 days or 1 month. So understand this. So MIS can be completely automated. Also, we can have an advanced analytics if you require. So we can have a separate product called Zoho Analytics, and we can integrate it to ZohoBooks. This will give you an entire new set of advanced analytics. It is like a Power BI tool. Okay, so you can integrate that also. So your MIS can be solved. Can we do inventory management in Zoho on real-time basis? Yes. So for inventory management, what you can do is Zoho Inventory. There's a separate product which is a very vast, advanced inventory management product. If you are say for example, you are in a trading business, okay, you don't have to go for Zoho Inventory separately. So from ZohoBooks itself, you can create the items, create the order to cash journey. So what is an order to cash journey? You got an order, so you create a sales order. Then you have to send the item to the customer. So you create a shipment or a package. Once the item is delivered, you mark it as delivered and raise an invoice against an EWA bill for that item. So, and once the invoice is created, then you create a payment for that invoice. While you are procuring the item, you create a purchase order to send to the vendor. Once the purchase order is sent, the vendor will approve the purchase order and send the goods. So once the vendor is sending the goods, you will create a purchase receipt, which will confirm that you have received all the items that you had ordered. And with the purchase receipt, you will book the bills that the vendor has provided. So your stock will be added on the accounts. And once the stock is added in the accounts, you can also set a reorder quantity. That, say for example, if my stock goes below certain level, automatically there should be a purchase order raised to the vendor. Okay, so this type of automations you can do through ZohoBooks. And because everything, your all integrations are in place, you can actually track your inventory on real-time basis. Okay, plus there is an option, if you go for Zoho Inventory, there's an option of stock counting also. So if you are generating barcodes for your inventory, you can integrate with Zoho Inventory, and you can do a monthly stock count and reconcile it with your with your accounting stock in Zoho Inventory. So inventory can be managed on real-time basis for sure. Okay, and we have a next question. While generating expense data, serial number is automatically generated. PR manually we have to add. In my current software, I have to add manually, and so for that I need to check the last expense serial number. Okay, I think you are meant to say serial number is automatically generated or manually we have to add. This is a question. Okay, so yeah, so in expense, in bills also you can have an automated numbering system. Okay, so there can be okay, one more very important point is you can create a custom fields also in ZohoBooks. Okay, so you can have two fields for numbering for your expense. One is an automated system generated number, which is your internal number. So every first invoice that expense that I book is number 1, second I book is number 2. But while booking that expense, there is a purchase bill which I have received from a vendor. Okay, so now that vendor has this own serial number. So you can create two different custom fields. One is a reference number, and second is the expense number. In the reference number, you can mention your your vendor's invoice number, because that is relevant for your GST to be reconciliation. If you don't put your vendor's invoice number, then your GST reco will fail. So you need to put that also, and you can have your own self-generated expense. So Dhaval, I hope I have answered your query. If you have got your answer, please give a thumbs up. Okay. Abhijit Kumar is asking, can you add IDFC First Bank in ZohoBooks? Okay, so there is a complete list of banks in ZohoBooks which can be integrated. IDFC First Bank is available in ZohoBooks or not? I need to check it once. I will revert you on this, Abhijit. I will also, if it is not available, I will raise a request to Zoho team also to try to add IDFC First Bank. Okay, what is the next question? So I would suggest almost every bank is available in ZohoBooks. Okay, only thing is in connected banking, there are two types of features. One is real-time bank balance. Sorry, there are three features: real-time bank balance. Second is live bank feeds, and third is vendor payments from ZohoBooks. So for vendor payments, there are only 3 to 4 banks which is integrated with ZohoBooks. That is HSBC, Yes Bank, SBI. These 3 banks, you can raise a payment from ZohoBooks itself. You don't have to go to internet banking and create a beneficiary and then make a payment. You can directly make a payment from ZohoBooks. Automatically, it will be marked under the vendor invoice, and the status will be paid. The UTR number will be sent to the vendor through email. This can be completely automated. But that is the third part. But first two, that is the live bank balance and bank feeds, that I think almost every bank is there in ZohoBooks. If there is any special bank which you are maintaining and it is not in ZohoBooks, you can just write it to me on email. I will send a request to ZohoBooks to add that bank. Okay, so that's the few questions. Any other question you want to ask? Please add. Okay, now we are at the last part. Okay, so we have completed our live Q&A also. So, guys, I want a quick feedback from you guys. Did you like my webinar? Please give a thumbs up if you have liked the webinar. Okay, that's great. So, we have completed the webinar now. I'm just putting my contact details. Okay. So thank you so much everyone for joining this webinar. I'm very grateful to you guys. If you have any queries, you can either email me, or my email ID is mentioned, contact number, or you can go to our website and you can also book a free one-on-one consultation directly from our website. I have added my LinkedIn and Instagram profile also. You can follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram if you want to connect with me. Thank you very much. If you have any comments, you can put it on the chat. Uh, I'm I will just wait for 1 minute before ending the session. If you want to put some comments, please put it on the chat. Any feedback for me? Any topic that you want us to do a webinar next time? Then put it on the chat. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm ending the webinar. Thank you everyone for joining this.